Hi, Minesh Baxi here, and I'm really excited because Cedric has been a friend for almost 2 decades. That kind of ages us a little bit, maybe. But he's as young as ever, as handsome, as excited, as energetic as I've known him. And I met him through networking, and I can tell you, he's a master at networking. He's a master at helping companies, leaders, and really a great business coach as well. So, Cedric, welcome.
Thank you. Good to see you, Minesh. You're looking well as well. Minesh, you must be younger. Minesh, you're looking younger every time I see you.
My white gray hair, don't tell that. But anyway, I'm sure I didn't have that many when I met you the first time. So I know you have accomplished a lot of things. You have been active with different networking groups. You've also been coaching different groups and organizations, and you've transitioned into being a coach as well. So let's just start with, what's your story as an entrepreneur? What do you want people to know how you got started?
That's a good question, Minesh. I have a corporate management background for about 15 years. I was with Sprint Communications for 10 years back in the 80s. I was a regional director for them between Michigan and Virginia. I oversee almost 300 employees at the time, Minesh.
Wow.
So that's a lot of folks to be in charge of. And I tell you, it was a great experience. I was very proud of my team, my staff, my management team. I stayed there for 10 years, and then I actually finished off with MCI for about 5 years as a director as well. So one of the things I just wanted to reinforce is that corporate America taught me a lot, and I'm very proud of that. They taught me about conflict resolution. They taught me about budgeting, forecasting, looking at on a larger level in terms of leadership and things of that nature. And I took a lot of that acumen, a lot of that information, a lot of that, studies that I learned from them, and applied it to businesses, and ran businesses like they were million-dollar businesses as well, with structure, with right resources, and bringing the right people in as well that could be a support mechanism. So that was important, and that experience and that background, it helped me parlay into not only running some small businesses and selling them, Manish, but also applying a lot of this experience as well as education to helping others, helping other businesses. Manish, what's the challenge these days? There's a statistic out there says almost 95% of small businesses that start failed in the first 5 years. You've heard of that before.
Yes. I totally do. That's the reason I wrote a short booklet called Top 10 Blunders Business Owners Make.
Exactly.
And it was more and more about people don't understand one of the things is cash flow and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But let me ask you, because you have so much experience in networking, I would like you to share a few tips on what are some of the things that people maybe are making mistakes in networking, and what do you recommend they do, ranging from going to a networking event or just in general an approach to networking. Because you're a master at it. I know you are really, really good at it. You make friends pretty much anywhere you go. And I've seen that in networking events as well as the gym that we have been part of.
Well, I will say this though, Manish, I've been honored to be associated with a number of people all over the country, and that's been exciting. I will say that some of the things I would look at, if you're relatively new in networking, one of the first things you want to make sure that you have is that you have a good hold of what you do. What your target market is, and what are some of the features and benefits of whatever you sell or whatever you sell or your services. And there's an old saying, BCP. If you're going to be selling something or offering a service, you need to make sure you're having BCP done, and that's visibility, credibility, profitability. We need to be visible out there, and we need to be credible. And credible is, in terms of that, we got to build those relationships. And those relationships that are important to not just our business, but into just everything that we do. And then along with that, when you do those things, profitability will come in terms of establishing a stronger, deeper relationship, opportunities in terms of selling your business or your products and things of that nature. Also, I would share with you that one of the things that's important in networking, I've seen it happen a lot, is when people come in and they start selling their products and they start talking about their products and services right then and there, without even having any kind of relationship or foundation of a relationship. So I'm a big believer, Manish, in building social capital. And social capital is that how do you help others? How do you make others better? And if by doing that and putting them first, then ultimately down the road, they're going to want to do and compelled to help you in every way they can because you've raised the level of trust. In order to build our ROI, we've got to build our ROR, return on relationships.
Well, I think all of those are very good points. So like you said, B, Victor, C, Charlie, and P, profitability. So visibility, credibility, and profitability.
Yeah.
It's easy to be visible if you're going to so many events.
Right.
But like you said, if you're just handing out business cards, are you coming across as a credible person?
Yeah.
And my podcast is designed to create the B and the C part of it. So eventually the relationships are deeply built.
Right.
Credibility is built so that profitability becomes easier.
Yes.
It still requires selling. It still requires negotiation. And I think for people to think all they do is give out business cards, meet people for a cup of coffee, build some relationship, please, that's not enough. You have to take the next step of selling and negotiating. And if you and I don't master it, we will be visible and credible, but not profitable, which is
exactly right.
which is what all business is about.
It takes time, doesn't it, Minesh? I mean, Minesh, you've been doing this business. You've been in this business for years, and just like me. And we worked hard at this, and we worked hard at building those relationships. I mean, you are well known all over the country, Minesh, and all over the world, quite frankly. But it's because of what you bring to the table. You built your social capital, Minesh, and so which I'm very honored to call you a colleague. So
you are, and you are somebody that I look at different times when I have some questions and I'm looking for some input. You are somebody I reach out to. So let's talk a little bit about what your focus today is. Who are the type of people, businesses, and clients that you're working with?
Yeah, it's kind of diverse. Matter of fact, I've moved a little bit different direction. I work with CEOs and small businesses. They're leaders of those organizations, and helping them understand about leadership acumen and the things that they need to be mindful about when you're heading up an organization. I've worked with a few nonprofits where the CEOs are dealing and interfacing with not just their employees and their C-suites, Manish, but they're also dealing with the boards. And so I help them understand how to work through that dynamic. I'm a big facilitator about DISC, behavioral styles. I'm a facilitator for them. So literally understanding behavioral styles and how to manage those and how to identify interaction and how you communicate with them on a different level. So I've been working on that. But the other thing that's been, in terms of my time, I'm a facilitator. So I travel all over the country, working with corporations and their leadership teams on a number of different leadership skills, interviewing skill techniques, communication techniques, also about not just styles and understanding that, but also conflict resolution. One of the things that's really huge these days in corporate America now is change management.
Yes.
You know that. I mean, how do you navigate with change? It's huge these days.
I agree with you. I think that's definitely true. So give me some case study or story of success without naming any particular people if you don't want to, on how you've been able to help them maybe go to conflict resolution, maybe help them in communication in different ways, or even change management.
Yeah. Well, and if it's a coaching client, and then first things first, it's about identifying what their strengths are and celebrating that, and then also identify what are their opportunities. What's holding them back? What's holding them back? And we identify those. We put those on a list, and we identify what are the most critical things that are holding that individual back, whether it's in leadership, in business, etc. And we start putting action plans and long-term goals and short-term goals in terms of how we work through those things. My job is to help them see beyond the forest in order to see the true trees that are behind the forest. And the other thing also, and Manish, you know this very well, helping people that learn how to move out of their own way. Right?
I know I've been guilty of that myself too much. I could have been a lot more successful if I was a better student, more focused in certain areas, and more focused on profitability than visibility. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I think we are not leveraging the social capital enough. And I think that's one of the challenges people can face, being liked, but not at the same time leveraging that likability factor as well.
Right.
So what is success for you? How would you define success at the place where you are in life?
Success is about how many people I impact. In my world, it's about impacting people on a personal and business level. So the legacy that I want to leave is that when you call Cedric Lewis McSween Sr., when you call that name will ring a bell in terms of a matter of different levels of success. That person was willing to give and willing to help, willing to change, or willing to help me move forward in some way to my fullest potential, the best version of ourselves. So that is, I look at goal in a number of ways, or look at success in a number of ways, but it's through the people that I serve. It's through the people that I lead, or through the people I coach. That is how I build my success. That makes sense, Manish? I mean, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me ask you, who are or what books, etc., resources have helped you? Obviously, you talked about the corporate life, I know, but who are some of the people that have influenced you become the person that you are today?
Well, along with you and Barry Demp and people like that, Barry.
Yes.
I'm a big believer in, Gino Wickman.
Yes.
And EOS. I've been following him for a number of years, and I truly enjoy his books, Traction and things of that nature, because of the mindset about changing an organization to understand people and how to work with people. One of their biggest philosophies are putting the right people in the right seats, right, Manish? And that's huge. Also, if you're thinking about the EOS philosophy, is based on at the high end, you have a visionary and then you have an integrator, and you need to understand that you have to have both of those in order to really move a business in the way that it needs to move.
Yeah, you can't scale the business to the next level. Most people who start out are visionaries, and they have to be the visionary and the integrator long enough to get the business to a certain level, and then they can actually bring an integrator. I think the best story of visionary and integrator that I can think of is Ray Kroc. And Ray Kroc created the McDonald's franchise system.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't create the McDonald's, but he created the franchise system. And when he started in Chicago, and I think Schaumburg was the location, if I'm correct. Mm-hmm. But either way, he actually created a position where he was working somewhere else to make the paycheck for the integrator in his company, which eventually brought him to the next level, because he knew he was a visionary. Right. But he was not an integrator. He was not somebody who was going to be able to manage the day-to-day tasks and actually implement the systems, create and implement systems. And as you know, visionary can see the bigger picture, but breaking it down to the nitty-gritty of day-to-day actions, holding people accountable, etc., isn't something a visionary is naturally good at.
Exactly.
And that's the part of the book Rocket Fuel that you're talking about, that Gino and Mark Winters, I think, wrote that book together.
And that's huge. It's huge. I mean,
I totally agree with you. Yesterday, I had a cup of coffee with an EOS implementer, by the way, because he's become a good friend. I interviewed him as well. His name is Mike Grooley, great guy. And I think the part that I think is important about all these people I mentioned, they have been good mentors and coaches, but they have learned from other people. Mm-hmm. They have assimilated the knowledge and distilled it in a way that other people can incorporate into their lives and businesses in a simpler manner. And that gives them kind of a simple roadmap. I mean, you still have to follow the map, but it gives you the roadmap of where you want to go. Fantastic. What are some of the last words of wisdom you would like to share with us?
Well, to the audience, and whether you're in business, or whether you're starting a business, or you want to start a business, or if you're in a career and you're looking to see how you can navigate through some, waters that are unkind, maybe. I think at the end of the day, I'm a big believer, and you are too, Manish, in professional development. Invest in yourself, invest in you, and invest in the ability to take yourself to the next level, to be the best version of yourself.
I think that's very true. Yeah, so very true. That is the best version of yourself.
Yes. So I would yield back to everyone if you're setting goals, I hope they are, and I hope they're smart goals, Manish, right?
Yes.
That you make sure that you're setting goals about how you can move your business or move your career and move yourself further.
And I agree. There's nothing more rewarding than feeling that you are changing, growing in the right direction.
Yes.
And I think most people need to pay attention to it, because you are happy only as far as you see yourself growing. If you're not growing, it internally there is a struggle and conflict where you feel you're not doing the best you can, and it
Yeah.
hurts you from inside. So I've felt that struggle a number of times. And
Yeah.
how would people get hold of you, Cedric?
And I got one last thing to say, if you don't
Yes,
mind,
sir.
about that. As a part of that whole development, as you become more successful, whatever you're doing, try to help others.
Yes.
Try to incorporate your ability to help others as well. I mean, if we as a society can focus on not just creating a better strategy for ourselves, but helping others to bring them along that want to be brought along, then, could you imagine what our society would be like if we had that kind of, momentum going, Manish? So I would certainly hope that people will do that, because that's extremely important that we do help others as we go along, move up the ladders.
Absolutely. I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
And that's what your message and story is about is, hey, let's help people, let's help each other. And I think we all can learn from each other as well. So good. So if somebody wants to get hold of you, Cedric, how do they go get hold of you?
Well, there's a couple of ways. My website is mcsweencoaching.com. Let me spell that. It's M as in Mary, C as in cat, S as in Sam, WEEN coaching.com. There'll be some information about me. Yeah. And then they'll have all the information they may have, some documents, some things that they may want to review. And so there's some good information that's on the website there.
Thank you, Cedric. I really appreciate you taking the time today. And I know you'll have a lot more years to contribute to a lot more people, touch their lives, and help them become more successful. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, Minesh. It was good seeing you and good talking with you. Have a great week, my friend.
You too.